Hey there, and welcome to the third book review slash discussion. Today we'll be doing the No BS Sales Success in the New Economy by Dan S. Kennedy. Now, if you're not familiar with Dan Kennedy, he is a very profound copywriter. He creates ad campaigns for large companies, ranging anywhere from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars in fees. He does book seminars and conventions and all of that kind of public speaking stuff too, where he commands high fees as well. He is coined the millionaire maker because of his community that he built for entrepreneurs alike to communicate with one another, start business deals, and learn from the tricks that he's learned from 20 to 30 years in the business. He's definitely one of the best at direct mail campaigns, like sending postcards and brochures and catalogs, because his way of thinking is your mailbox is a lot less cluttered than your inbox and your email. Which, if you think about it, how many things do you get sent to you in the mail these days as compared to how many items do you have in your inbox every day in your email? So, it might be worth looking into that direct mail campaign. It's not lost, just very few people are doing it. And he makes himself very hard to reach. You can only contact him through fax, and he'll get back to you in about 2 to 3 weeks to say if he's even going to take you on as a client. And his thought process is he creates scarcity, and he is in high enough demand where he can do this. He does not suggest that people starting out do this. You should be as accessible as you can when you're starting out, and once you get up there and you've been doing it for 20, 30 years, you can start getting a little less accessible. So let's get into the book. Now, he coined a process called PAS, P-A-S, for selling. After all, this is the book about how to find sales success in the new economy. So PAS, problem, agitate, solve. So what you do is you address the problem at hand. Let's say a customer comes in to complain about their butt hurting from riding their bike, and they want a more comfortable seat. So you address the problem, you say, okay, I hear you loud and clear. Then you agitate the problem. You make them even feel stronger about that emotion. So you go on and say, yeah, I remember one time I was riding my bike, and I didn't have that good of a seat, and only after 2 miles, I got a rash. Can you believe that? So that brings the same emotion that the customer's feeling. Oh yeah, I hate my seat. It's so uncomfortable. And then you go to the last step, S, solve, and you say, well here, we just got in this new premium comfy seat, and you won't get a rash, and you'll be able to enjoy that bike ride for much further than 2 miles. Boom, there you go. So you address the problem at hand, you emphasized it, made that emotion even stronger, and then you took away that negative from them and returned a positive. And that is a very, very general guideline to sales that he offers. I'm sorry, guys, I'm sick. That's why I keep sniffling my nose. Just bear with me. I'm trying to keep recording one review a day. So, I'm doing this for you guys. Alright, so when you go to counter a sale, you're gonna get no's, no's, and no's. Many times you'll get a few before you get a yes. So he created an 8-step guideline to combat getting no's. It's called How to Get Past the No. He dedicated a chapter to it in the book. And I'm going to go over one step that really stood out to me. It's step number 7 in the 8-step guideline, and it is titled Ignore the Erroneous No's. Now, what he means by this is, nowadays, so many people are bombarded with salesmen and advertisements on social media that it's almost a self-defense mechanism at this point for people to say no, no, no to any sale. So what you do is you acknowledge it. You don't completely ignore it like in the title. You acknowledge the no and continue with your sale. Because you're acknowledging that it's not a rejection to your proposal, it's a no, and it's just an automatic thing that they're not even thinking about. They're not saying no to your product. They're just saying no I don't want to be force sold something. You have to think about this stuff. It'll come with time. After I read this book, I started seeing it a little bit more at my old job. So yeah, when you see people just go no, 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 it's kind of like an automatic thing. You got to acknowledge it, okay, but, and then you just keep going with your sales process. Now, what happens if you actually get hit with a real no, like a real rejection to your proposal? They are just not feeling it. Well, the process to combat that actually starts before you even talk to the person in that sales meeting or sales pitch. What he coined as positive power of negative preparation is that you, like when you're at home or before a sales meeting, you sit yourself down and you write out a list. Writing it out and not keeping it in your head is very effective. It's proven in who knows how many studies that writing emphasizes things a lot more. You're a lot more likely to get it done. But you're supposed to write down all the objections to your product or proposal that you can think of, a potential customer may say. And what you do is you then write down a response to each objection that combats it very, very well. Now, so now that you've done that, you wrote all the objections out that you can think of, and you wrote down all your responses. Next time you go into a sales meeting, you're going to feel that much more confident, because when someone hits you with an automated no, you're going to be like, okay, ignore that one. I'm going to acknowledge that, nod my head, yes, I hear you, and continue on. Then once I get hit with a real no, I'm going to be like, okay, I hear that objection. Here's my response. And if you wrote your responses down good enough and you recall them when it comes down to your sale, you should overcome it and get one step closer to that sale. Now, it's actually very interesting. He goes on to say that this is the process that he uses to write the copy for his ad campaigns. This man gets tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars, so it's a good person to listen to when it comes to writing copy. So what he does is reverse engineer it, and when he's going to write an ad, he writes down all of the reasons why someone would say no to the ad, not opt in, not respond to it, and make the purchase. And he uses that checklist that he just made and uses that as the guidelines for the copy he's going to write for the ad. So let's say they say, it is too big it's too big, I want it to be portable, of just any product. That's the objection. So when he's writing his copy for his ad, he would make sure to say it breaks down to make it very portable. You see what I'm saying? All right. And one thing that I've noticed in a lot of Facebook ads that pop up all over, and I get like a ton of stuff ranging from technology to life coaches that pop up on my newsfeed as advertisements. And one thing that he hits on in this book, and that I've noticed, especially on social media, is people are too wordy. They try and make themselves sound smart, but all you're really doing is making the customer feel dumb. And sales isn't the time to make yourself feel smart. It's the time to educate the customer and get closer to the sale. And the way you're going to do that is by keeping things in as simple terms as possible. It's an acronym, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And it's a very good thing to go by. You want to keep everything as simple as possible so there's no confusion in the process and your customer feels that they have all the knowledge they need to make an educated and well-formed purchase. In closing, I want to talk about the E factors. I know if you came here to this channel from the 67 Steps community, Ty Lopez, he talks about the emotional factors that go on in any decision making. In this book, Dan Kennedy lists 5 of them: fear, guilt, love, pride, and greed. Now, each of those, some of them are more positive than others, but nonetheless, they are all part of decision making. And keeping that in the back of your head when you're selling is very useful, because you can eventually you'll get to sense where the person is coming from, and you'll be like, you know what, they're thinking they were thinking very emotionally when they said that. Let's say they were thinking out of fear when when we told them there was only two seats in the car for their 16-year-old kid. Maybe we should just go and show them the four-door car because they're acting out of fear of that car crash. So just think about emotional factors. Emotions are always weigh heavy in decision making process. And that wraps up this book review. Very informative book. Again, I didn't hit everything. There were just very key points that I figured were worth sharing to you guys. Overall, I really do highly recommend this book. It's in the series, a No BS series, and he has around 7 of them. So make sure to go check them out and hit that subscribe button. Helps me out a lot. And for future reference, comment below and suggest books I should review. All right, I'm out.